Hello, cats and kittens. Orewa Jose, Yoroshku. I'm back in the crisis corner, this time to give my impressions on the importance of the Black Panther, the film. This is not going to be any groundbreaking thoughts here, more so than anyone else has said before me. However, I do want to give my ideas on why this film is important for especially African American creators, be they creators of comics, be they creators of films, or what have you. First of all, I think the most important thing about this movie is that it was good. It was especially within the context of superhero movies and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's as good as you can get. To me, the upper echelon of MCU movies is Captain America, Winter Soldier, any of the Captain America films, but especially Winter Soldier. The Iron Man movies were very good. I think the first one was the best. And just for sheer scale, the first Avengers movie. But the best, I say, is, in my opinion, is Captain America Winter Soldier. When you really look at it, the Black Panther and Captain America Winter Soldier are basically conceptually the same. They're just taken from, they're mirror images of each other flipped around. And I say that to mean you have a hero who's essentially thwarting, in Captain America you have I hate to get into the race card, but you got a white hero with a black sidekick who thwarts a coup d'etat and saves his country. Okay, so Black Panther, you have a black hero with a white sidekick who thwarts a coup d'etat and basically saves his country. The difference is, of course, is that Captain America's a soldier, Black Panther's a king and a leader of a nation. So there's that. But basically, in conceptually, they have those themes in common. And I'm not going to go into the blow by blow, of the movie because, it's been out for a while and everybody's seen it. It's making ungodly amounts of money, which it deserves, which is fine. But there are elements in the Black Panther, I think, which are very, very strong. The prince coming into his kingship. This almost got some, Shakespearean notes to it, The unsure prince, the scene where he goes to the astral plane or whatever and sees his father. One of my favorite scenes, he sees his father. He's filled with regret over not being able to protect him. He takes his hand, bows down, and says, "I'm sorry." His father immediately says, "Stand up, you are a king." You know what I'm saying? That's awesome. It shows that he's not prepared for that. He's prepared technically, but emotionally, he's not ready to let go of his father. But his father tells him, "You're a king. It's on you. Stand up, rise to the occasion, whatever." I like that. That's one of my favorite scenes. Anyway, but just him, T'Challa coming into his kingship, Killmonger being probably next to, he's tied with Loki as far as one of the best villains in the MCU because he has a beef. He has a legitimate grudge. He got messed over. And T'Challa even admits that again when he goes for the second time to see his father. You should have brought him home. You should have taken care of him. The entire beef with, not beef, but the moral dilemma of the vibranium. Either are you protecting the vibranium? Was Wakanda initially protecting the vibranium from misuse by the rest of the world, or protecting their way of life from being disturbed by outsiders. And in doing so, were they justified? Either way, were they justified? Because you come down to the another one of the moral dilemmas is, do we help others or do we keep what we have? And I've heard it stated in the film a couple of times where individuals say the initial founders of the country looked at the world at large and thought that they should hide the vibranium from the world so as to protect it, keep it out of the wrong hands. Of course, when you look out there and you see somebody, creating an atom bomb, look at it that way and say, okay, it needs to be protected from the wrong hands. But at the same time, are you also saying, if we told people about the vibranium, they would trample through our borders or just come looking for it, try to steal it, whatever, and this would disrupt our way of life. So no thank you, we're just not going to tell you about it, and you're basically keeping this precious resource that doesn't actually belong to you, from helping others, just because you think that they might do something wrong with it, or again, that they'll trample your borders and disrupt your way of life. So that's a great, moral drama to play out during the film. But another thing that I appreciate about the film, both the drama in the film, the right or wrong, is caused by and affects directly African Americans. You know what I mean? The solution and the problem. You know what I mean? It's all, the cast is pretty much all black or African American, however you want to put that, with the exception of like two people, basically Claw and Ross. Everybody else, it's like, it's almost alien. It's almost like in filmmaking, anytime you see a majority black cast, it doesn't have anything to do with, high concepts like vibranium and all of those exotic weapons and exotic uses for the vibranium. It just doesn't compute that would have anything to do with African Americans, because you either be in the hood or you be, on a plantation, or you be here or another. So usually when you come into these high concept movies, black people are either sidemen or they don't appear anywhere. You look at Star Wars, you didn't see Lando Calrissian, you didn't think black people existed, especially in the first go-around. It's just what it is, when high concept stuff comes in, black people usually fade out. And that's just what it is. I'm not going militant, I'm just stating the facts. So it's refreshing to see a situation where black folk are in the middle of both the cause and the resolution of a problem that affects a world scale issue. It's rare. It's to this point, I think, non-existent. So I think that's the importance of the film, is that now little kids that are scribbling on their notepads or their iPads and fighting to come up with the next Spider-Man or the next whatever, or the next high concept, this, that, or the other, they can look to a frame of reference and say, oh, what was that joint? Oh, the joint with the nation of Wakanda and the Black King. People that look like you. People that, either you, not necessarily that you can identify with directly, being that, you might live in America or you might live in Canada or whatever, and you maybe never been to Africa, but you saw a situation where a majority black cast, and especially dealing with the African continent, some high concept superhero fiction, science fiction-y type stuff went down, and there were nothing but black faces all over the place. That's just from my standpoint. I'm not speaking for all black people everywhere, but you need to see stuff like that. You need to. I needed to see stuff like that. When I was coming up with Intrepid, I just had to wing it, man. I just made up certain things because they didn't exist. Now I knew about the Black Panther, that's true, because I've been reading comics for years, but certain things, creating certain characters, creating certain archetypes or whatever, you need a broader spectrum than just Indiana Jones and Ethan Hunt and just the archetypes that are thrown at you by Hollywood on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So it helps to have a T'Challa, to have a Okoye, to have another aspect of the movie I thought was also brilliant. The difference between the deep state and the military. Nakia and Okoye. They can say the deep state, or at least the intelligence community and the military. When Killmonger takes over, I think it's Nakia, yeah. Her thing is, look, we're going to take this back. We're going to overthrow this dude and get our king back on the throne. Okoye is like, look, man, I'm loyal to the throne. I mean, I can't, just be running coup d'etats whenever I feel with it. I'm not a spy. You know what I'm saying? And that plays out in our governments all the time. I ain't getting into specifics, but yeah, the intelligence community and just a straight military state, they don't always see things eye to eye. And then you get conflict and, people get took out, hey, whatever. But I saw that as a subplot, and I thought that was cool. And again, all of this playing out with black faces of different shades, from jet black to light skin to whatever. It was cool. It was awesome. It was brilliant. It was great to see, and it's great to know that little kids were looking at that and saying, oh, a light might have gone on and said, oh, so it don't just have to be about, escaping the plantation or, the drug trade, and this, that, and the other. You got options. You can go as high concept with your own people as you want to go. And that's brilliant. So I think that's one of the most important things about the film. And it was great, or was fortuitous that it was a great film. So, hey, props to the creators, directors, actors. You did great. You did great. And you gave little kids and grown folk a different image of themselves and a different image of Africa, of all kinds of different tribes. And yeah, you gave them something to think about. And I really appreciated that. So I seen it 3 times so far. I'll probably see it another time before Infinity War pops off. But the Black Panther was a very good film and a very important film. And another issue was finally, the last point is, when it first came out, there was a whole ridiculous issue of, should, non-African Americans, basically say white, Caucasian, whatever, people go see the movie. Of course. Why not? Like I say, it's basically Civil War flipped upside down, I didn't feel uncomfortable when I went to see Civil War or went to see Winter Soldier. So why should anybody that's not black feel uncomfortable going to see Black Panther? It's basically the same deal, just different, backgrounds. So it's not that big a deal. So yeah. So go and see it, enjoy it. I know based on the dollar intake, everyone and half the people on earth probably seen it by now. But go see it. Enjoy it. It's a nice film. That's it. Yeah, that's it. So I'll holler at you later. Thanks for watching this. Stay loose.